14 reasons why cheap cars are the best cars. Buying a cheap car that you haven't had to save up for is one of the best decisions you'll ever make. And here's why. They double as a workhorse. When you've spent £200 on a car like I did, you can use it as a car, a van, or a workhorse because you don't care about interior damage, stained leather, or bad smells. Simply fold the seats down and throw anything you like in there, from off-road tires to humans that you want to dispose of. You don't care about damaging alloys. When you drive a car you love, you're always worrying about damaging the alloys. But not so with a crap box like this. Because now, the curb is more of a guiding hand when parking, and not something to be scared of. You save money on fuel. Forget topping up with the most expensive fuel on the forecourt. Your cheap and cheerful car will chug happily on the basic stuff, which means a healthier bank account for what really matters. The car you want most. Yup, driving around in a super cheap car means that you'll be able to save money more quickly for your one true love. Parts are cheaper to buy. If you absolutely have to change a part, then forget OEM. Your cheap car doesn't deserve something with a manufacturer stamp on it, so either head to your local scrapyard and start wrenching, or buy the cheapest crap you can to get you by for a while longer. Cheap cars love off-roading. Here's another £200 car that I bought recently. Its name was Donald and I took it off-roading. It did okay, and goes to show that pretty much any car can surprise you off-road if you just give it the chance to shine. It'll probably be the most reliable car you've ever owned. Like an old dog, a cheap car will always be there by your side, ready and willing to take on life. In fact, this car hasn't needed a penny spending on it, probably because it knows that if it does break, it'll go straight to scrap heap heaven without even a tear or a kiss goodbye. You park where the hell you like. In a nice car, you take great effort to park in a spot with at least 2 clear spaces either side. Not so in a cheap car, because you don't give a damn if a kid opens their door and dents yours, nor will you be bothered if someone sideswipes you when reversing. Supermarket trips in a cheap car then mean that you can actually park at the entrance. Cheap cars don't depreciate. One of the most annoying things about buying a car is the fact that they hemorrhage money in depreciation. But when you're spending a few £100 on something, the depreciation's already done. In fact, I reckon I'd make money if I sold this £200 Mitsubishi onto someone else. Bumps and scrapes don't matter. If you need to park quickly or if you need to squeeze through a gap to get to where you're going, then rubbing against trees or walls to get through is a rite of passage for cheap car owners. You can treat it like a rental. Let's face it, you've spent a minimal amount on buying it, so if it breaks, simply scrap it and move on. That's why it's acceptable to treat cheap cars like rentals, including driving them hard when they're cold. It'll make you appreciate your special car even more. If you finally upgraded from your crap and cheap car to your dream car, then you'll better appreciate how nice the new car feels and that everything works as it should. Never slow down for speed bumps. With a car you love, you also worry about scraping spitters, diffusers, or the exhaust. The beauty of a cheap car, however, is that it doesn't matter if these things scrape. For that reason, speed bumps and potholes can be treated with the disrespect they truly deserve. Cheap cars have plenty of character. While you won't care much about them, cheap cars do have plenty of character. They also give you a completely carefree attitude that'll mean you'll do stuff and go to places that you wouldn't dream of in a nice car that you clean and service regularly. So if nothing else, buy a cheap car for the fact that it'll do you proud and give you plenty of stories to tell. Don't forget to hit the bell icon below to be notified every time we release a new video.
3, 2, 1, go! Oh, that's quite slippery.